It was supposed to be the start of a new chapter. In the summer of 2008, 18-year-old Elijah Boone packed his bags, hugged his little sister goodbye, and left his small Colorado hometown to explore life beyond the Rocky Mountains. He had just graduated high school and was chasing freedom, adventure, and perhaps something he never spoke about. He never came back. His disappearance didn't make national headlines. There was no high-profile manhunt, no wall-to-wall coverage. Just a poster on a coffee shop door, some desperate Facebook posts, and a family that refused to give up. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Grab a cup of coffee and relax as one of the darkest secrets unfolds. Let's dive right into it. For years, Elijah's mother would drive to nearby towns, clinging to hope that her son might still be out there, somewhere. But the truth? It was hidden in the most unthinkable place. Elijah was last seen on July 11, 2008. He had left a party late that night in Colorado Springs and told a friend he planned to couch surf with an old classmate. That friend later told police Elijah never showed up. There were no signs of a struggle, no last text messages, only a voicemail to his mom earlier that day. "I'll call tomorrow, I promise. Love you." That call never came. Over the years, whispers and rumors filled the void. Some believed he joined a cult. Others claimed he fled due to a secret mental health crisis. One theory even suggested Elijah had witnessed something he shouldn't have, a drug deal, a violent altercation, something, and was silenced. The police followed what few leads they had, but with no evidence of foul play, the case went cold. Fast forward to October 2015, 7 years later. Contractors were hired to renovate a long-abandoned cabin just 20 miles from where Elijah disappeared. It had once belonged to an eccentric local teacher who died in 2010. The house had sat untouched for years, dark, dusty, and decaying. As one of the workers tore down an interior wall near the fireplace, he heard a strange thud from inside the chimney flue. Curious, he dismantled the bricks around it and peered inside. What he found stopped him cold. A human skeleton wedged upside down inside the chimney shaft, clothes still intact. Wallet, phone, and driver's license, all belonging to Elijah Boone. The story immediately exploded in the local press. How could an 18-year-old end up trapped inside a chimney in a locked, abandoned home? The initial theory: he tried to break into the house from the roof, got stuck, and died of positional asphyxia. No drugs, no foul play, just a tragic accident. But not everyone bought that. Here's where it gets weird. The cabin door was locked from the inside. No windows were broken, and Elijah's shoes were found neatly placed near the fireplace inside the house, not on the roof. There was no ladder, no access point, and absolutely no logical reason he would try to enter from the chimney. Experts re-examined the body. Due to the extreme decomposition, no official cause of death could be determined. But the position of the remains, combined with the intact bones and lack of trauma, left more questions than answers. After Elijah's remains were discovered, attention turned to the previous owner of the cabin, Professor Richard Finley, a retired chemistry teacher known for his brilliant lectures and bizarre lifestyle. Finley had taught at the local high school for over 25 years and was rumored to be eccentric, to say the least. Neighbors described him as reclusive but friendly, until he abruptly retired in 2009 and vanished from the public eye. He died a year later from a stroke in a Denver hospice, leaving the cabin to rot. When authorities searched his old records, they made a chilling discovery. Finley and Elijah had crossed paths. Elijah had taken one of his advanced science classes and, according to his high school counselor, once complained about an uncomfortable incident involving Finley after class. No formal report was ever filed. Worse, police found old journals in the cabin's basement. Most were filled with ramblings about alchemy, isolation, and purifying the human mind. One entry read, "Only through silence can a soul be fully understood. A visitor came last night. He tried to escape through smoke." Elijah's mother, Dana Boone, was devastated by the discovery, but more haunted by the loose ends. "I don't believe my son got stuck in that chimney on accident. He wasn't trying to rob anyone. That man, Finley, he knew my boy. He had him in that house. and no one wants to say what really happened. Local police ruled the death undetermined, but officially closed the case. There were no living suspects, no clear cause, no motive. Just a skeleton, a chimney, and a string of unanswered questions. To this day, online forums debate what happened in that cabin. Was it an accident? A miscalculated prank gone wrong? Or something darker? Some believe Elijah was lured there, drugged, and placed in the chimney as a form of twisted punishment. Others think he witnessed something inside that house and tried to escape the only way he could. But the most haunting theory? That he was never alone in that house. That someone was inside, watching, as he suffocated just feet from safety. And still, on stormy nights, hikers passing the old Finley cabin report strange sounds echoing from the chimney, like the soft scraping of fingernails against brick. What secrets still linger inside that abandoned house? And who, if anyone, knows the truth behind the chimney tomb? We followed the mysterious 2004 disappearance of 18-year-old Maya Hernandez from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Her last known location was her friend Allison's house, where she was supposed to spend the night. She never came home. For years, the case remained cold, until 2022, when renovation workers at a now-abandoned house discovered skeletal remains lodged deep inside a sealed chimney. Dental records confirmed what no one wanted to believe. Maya had been found. But how did she get there? The house where Maya's remains were discovered once belonged to a reclusive man named Randall Pierce. He had died of a heart attack in 2018, 4 years before the grim discovery. Neighbors had long considered him odd but harmless. A Vietnam vet with no family, who mostly kept to himself. His house sat untouched until it was auctioned off by the state. The new owners planned to gut it, flip it, and sell it. They never expected to uncover a body. The coroner's report concluded that Maya died of asphyxiation. There were no signs of blunt force trauma or defensive wounds on the skeleton, but there was evidence she had been alive when she entered or was placed in the chimney. Her fingers were fractured, possibly from trying to claw her way out. The detail that haunted everyone most was this. Maya had been found facing upward, as if she tried to climb out. Detectives reopened the case with renewed urgency. The initial theory, Maya may have been fleeing something or someone and tried to hide in the chimney. But that idea fell apart under closer scrutiny. The chimney flue had been sealed from the inside with wire mesh and mortar, likely years before Maya disappeared. There was no feasible way she could have entered it herself without tools or help. That's when suspicion turned back to Randall Pierce. A search through city permits revealed that Pierce had once reported a break-in just a week after Maya's disappearance. Nothing was stolen. When asked why he didn't press charges or call police, Pierce had said it was just a misunderstanding and asked not to be bothered again. Police at the time logged it but never investigated further. The same week, neighbors remembered seeing him burning what looked like clothing in a fire pit. One name kept popping up in the case files, Travis Coates. Travis had dated Maya briefly during their senior year. He was known for being intense, sometimes aggressive. After Maya went missing, he was interviewed but released due to lack of evidence. Now, with the case reopened, detectives took another look at him. Travis hadn't just known Maya. He had also worked part-time doing repairs for Randall Pierce. That changed everything. Police tracked Travis down to Flagstaff, Arizona, where he'd moved a decade earlier. He'd gotten married, had a child, and started over. When detectives knocked on his door, he looked stunned, but calm. They asked about Randall. Travis admitted he had worked for the man, but claimed they hadn't spoken in years. When asked if he remembered Maya, his voice tightened. "Yeah," he said. "She ghosted me. Never even told me why." That statement contradicted what Maya's friends said. She had broken things off with Travis because he was possessive, jealous. There were rumors he'd followed her to class, even threatened her roommate once. But none of it was documented. Travis agreed to come in for a formal interview. At the station, detectives pushed harder. "Why did Randall report a break-in right after Maya vanished?" one asked. Travis shrugged. "I dunno. Guy was paranoid." "What about the burn pile? You ever help him dispose of anything?" "No," he said quickly, too quickly. "That's crazy. But when they asked him if he knew Maya was found in the chimney of Randall's home, he froze. His response, "You're kidding." The detectives leaned in. "We're not." Back in Santa Fe, Allison, Maya's old friend, was now married and working as a trauma nurse. She hadn't talked about Maya in years. When detectives called to ask about Travis, she hesitated, then agreed to meet in person. She brought something with her, Maya's old journal. "I didn't give it to police back then," Allison confessed. "I didn't think it mattered, but maybe now." The journal was filled with poetry, doodles, and occasional entries. But one stood out, dated just 3 days before Maya vanished. "I don't know if I'm safe. Travis was waiting outside my class again. I told him it's over. He said, 'You'll regret this. You'll see.' Allison says I should tell someone. But who would believe me?" This entry became the smoking gun. Detectives returned to Travis with a warrant to collect DNA. They also searched his old truck, which had been sitting on his father-in-law's property for years. In the truck's passenger side door panel, forensic analysts found a decayed hair strand. DNA confirmed the hair belonged to Maya Hernandez. The case was building fast, but there was still a gap. Why Randall? Why the chimney? Then a new theory emerged. Travis had panicked. Maya had threatened to go public. He didn't want to lose control. Maybe he didn't mean to kill her. But when she was gone, he needed help. Enter Randall Pierce, a man with no ties, no questions, and no scruples. Maybe Randall helped Travis hide Maya's body in the one place no one would think to check, a sealed chimney, a burial in brick and shadow. With mounting evidence, Travis was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and unlawful disposal of a body. In his first court appearance, he pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors believed Randall helped cover up the crime. But with him dead, Travis alone would stand trial. Still, there was one detail that kept everyone on edge. During Travis's first recorded interview, when detectives asked what he remembered about Maya's disappearance, he let something slip. "I didn't think they'd ever find her. Not after all this time. Not, I didn't know what happened. Not, that's terrible. Just, I didn't think they'd find her." But what the prosecution didn't expect was the bombshell that dropped 2 weeks before the trial. An anonymous tip. A woman in her late 30s, calling herself Jenna, claimed she knew something that could blow the case wide open. She refused to meet in person. She refused to leave a return number. But her final words chilled detectives. "You're looking at the wrong man. Travis didn't kill Maya. He tried to save her." 18-year-old Maya Hernandez vanished in 2004. In 2022, her remains were discovered inside a sealed chimney in a house once owned by a reclusive veteran, Randall Pierce. Suspicion fell on Maya's possessive ex-boyfriend, Travis Coates, who had worked with Randall at the time. Journal entries, DNA evidence, and past threats pointed to Travis. He was arrested, charged with murder, and awaiting trial when a woman calling herself Jenna made a cryptic anonymous call. "You're looking at the wrong man. Travis didn't kill Maya. He tried to save her." That single statement flipped the case on its head. Detectives scrambled to trace the call. No luck. Burner phone. No caller ID. No record. But Jenna's voice was recorded and sounded eerily familiar to an older detective who had worked the case in its early days. He remembered a girl, quiet, anxious, always in the background during interviews. Her name? Jennifer Cullen, Maya's former classmate. Jennifer had dropped off the radar after graduation, moving out of state and rarely returning. A deep dive into public records confirmed she had legally changed her name in 2011, right around the time Randall Pierce's property was cited for noise complaints and strange activity. Detectives tracked her to a small town in Colorado. She was now working at a bookstore, under a new name, living a quiet life. When officers arrived, she didn't run. She didn't deny her identity. Instead, she asked one question. Is Travis still in jail? The secret she'd carried for years. Jennifer confessed that she had been there the night Maya died. According to her statement, Maya had called her in a panic. Travis had shown up at her house uninvited. They argued outside before Maya managed to slip away. She asked Jennifer to pick her up and help her disappear for the night. Afraid but loyal, Jennifer drove Maya to someone Maya said she trusted. That man was Randall Pierce. Jennifer waited in the car while Maya spoke with Randall at his front door. She saw them go inside. Maya never came out. When she asked Randall what was going on, he snapped, "She's staying the night. Go home." Jennifer left, but something felt off. The next day, she returned. The house was silent. No one answered the door. She knocked for 10 minutes. No Maya. No Randall. 2 days later, she saw Randall driving Maya's distinctive pink keychain hanging from his rearview mirror. That was the moment she knew Maya wasn't coming back. Terrified and unsure what to do, Jennifer confronted Travis. He was shocked to hear where Maya had gone that night. He thought she'd simply run off. Over the next week, Jennifer and Travis met several times, both overwhelmed with guilt. They decided to report what they knew. But before they could, Randall confronted them. He threatened them both. He told Jennifer he had photos of her at his house. He told Travis that any accusation would only make him look guilty because of his past with Maya. Then he disappeared for weeks. When he returned, he acted as though nothing had happened. They both stayed silent, scared, broken, and ashamed. Jennifer's confession complicated the case. She insisted Travis had not been involved in Maya's death, but admitted they had both covered up what they suspected. She had even gone to the house years later, considered breaking in, but couldn't bring herself to do it. The trauma had kept her silent. Detectives now had to consider a new possibility. Randall Pierce acted alone. Maybe Maya sought refuge with someone she thought she could trust. Maybe that trust was misplaced. And maybe the man who'd taken her in sealed her fate inside a chimney. But was it that simple? During a second forensic sweep of Randall's home, a discovery in the attic changed everything. Again. Behind a false wall, investigators uncovered a hidden room, barely large enough to stand in. Inside were dusty, sealed boxes, filled with women's clothing, jewelry, and, chillingly, ID cards. Most were dated from the 1980s and 1990s. One of the boxes contained a small spiral notebook. It had Maya's name scribbled on the first page. The pages were filled with disturbing, obsessive writing. Notes about obedience, cleansing, and redemption. Most chilling of all, one passage read, "She resisted. She screamed. I had no choice. I couldn't let her ruin everything." Randall Pierce, long believed to be an eccentric recluse, was now suspected of being a serial predator, possibly even a serial killer. The case exploded in the media. True crime podcasts, YouTube channels, and national news ran the story. Chimney victim leads to secret room of a suspected killer. Families of missing women from decades ago began reaching out, wondering if their loved ones' disappearances might be linked to Pierce. The FBI joined the investigation. Suddenly, Maya wasn't the only forgotten victim. Travis Coates was released on bond pending further review. Prosecutors debated whether to pursue charges for obstruction or accessory after the fact. His defense attorney claimed he was a haunted young man who tried to do the right thing. Too late. Jennifer Cullen voluntarily testified under full immunity in exchange for her cooperation. Public opinion was divided. Some saw Travis as a scapegoat. Others believed he knew far more than he admitted. Maya's parents, while grateful for answers, struggled with the outcome. Her mother, Rosa, told reporters, "For years, we imagined every possibility. That she ran away, that she was trafficked. But never this." In the final days of the investigation, detectives returned one last time to Randall Pierce's property. A cadaver dog alerted near the edge of the backyard, close to an old, crumbling shed. They dug and found something. Bones, human, wrapped in a weathered blanket. Another victim, yet to be identified. Forensics suggested the remains were from the early 1990s. The true scope of Randall's crimes may never be fully known. He died before facing justice. But thanks to Maya, and the chilling twist of her discovery, the buried secrets of a predator were finally brought to light. In 2024, a memorial was held for Maya Hernandez in Santa Fe. Hundreds attended. Her former classmates, family, and even strangers paid tribute to a young woman who vanished at 18, and whose tragic story helped unearth the horror lurking behind an ordinary-looking house.